This is another test of the click bomb method. Now here's a client we've worked with for a while and we've had some fantastic results with them. So they started with us in the middle of last year, and you can see blue line represents backlink and then the orange line represents traffic, and of course the all important paler line, traffic value. So how commercial is this traffic? So for the last year this has been consistently performing well, moving up and to the right throughout, consistently until July. And through our link building process, we've got them up to a domain rating of 41. So that's really quite competitive. And remember, that's genuine backlinks. That's a real domain rating. That's not just being inflated with spammy links. So overall, really good result. And yet in the last month or so, Google has decided things shouldn't go so well anymore. So towards the end of July, we noticed a decline in traffic. Now, obviously not fatal, this is just standard volatility. In fact, if you go through the history of this chart, you can see there were consistently peaks and troughs in this time where, as this graph has grown over time, sometimes what felt like a massive drop soon turned out not to be. So although this drop looks, if we go back to here, back in May, there was a bit of a drop then. Those are times where, as the graph was smaller at the time, what might look like a small drop now felt really significant at the time. But still, this is concerning and we want to turn that around as fast as possible. So can a click bomb help with that? Well, let's find out. And just a reminder, what is a click bomb? It's basically sending thousands of clicks in a short space of time that looks like viral social media traffic. Even in analytics, it shows as organic social. And what we're trying to really achieve is to tell Google that this page is really trending, it's really popular, and therefore it deserves a rankings boost. And while this is quite an aggressive strategy, it's pretty much legitimate. There's not a whole lot that can go wrong here because there's nothing wrong with going viral on social media. So as long as everything we're doing looks like viral social media traffic, then we're unlikely to have a problem. And the results speak for themselves. Done a lot of thorough testing lately. Gone from position 13 to position 9. We've gone from position 40 to position 19. It works great for parasite SEO. So for a Reddit thread, I was able to go from position 9 to position 1. And if you're already quite high up on Google, then that works really well as well. We typically recommend only do this if you're already ranking in the top 30. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense why you should get lots of traffic. So for a B2B software company, they were at the bottom of page 1, and yet using a click bomb within a couple of hours, they were then at number 3. So every single test has worked, and the average gain is 48%. And it's because of this success rate that we're able to offer a money-back guarantee. So if you don't get positive traction from this, then we'll just keep going until it does. And if it still doesn't work out, of course, we'll give you a refund. So there's no risk to actually doing this. So for this particular case, I'm going to order a single click bomb. And for this, we're targeting US. We can see from this example, they have ended up getting a lot of traffic from India. So as much as possible, we want to try and push the US presence instead. And we can do that using this targeted traffic. Now, in this case, we're going to go straight for the homepage. Again, homepages tend to work best. They already tend to rank for a lot of big keywords where if you move at all, then you're going to get a big traffic boost from it. We'll also take your main target keyword. That doesn't actually affect what we're actually delivering. It's merely for tracking purposes, just as a KPI, because we want to know if you want to focus on this keyword, then we need to make sure that keyword moves. But you do have to already be ranking for it in the top 3 pages of Google. So let's have a go. I've got no idea how this is going to work out, but over the next few hours, we're going to find out. Can we turn around this website drop? Now remember, just a hint here on actual page selection and what we're looking to achieve. So filter to your target location, position, make sure you're within ideally top 30. You can do top 40 potential, and then volume, make your life easier, give yourself a good bit of ceiling, take out all the small keywords, but we can also sort that later. So from this should give us a good list of candidates as to which pages should actually benefit from this. For this one, we're just doing the home page. So in this example, we can see this client, top keyword, 4,400 searches a month, $2 cost per click, so we know it's got some transactional value. It's probably going to actually convert, and they're around position 18-20. So that's a prime candidate for the click bomb. This is probably the one we expect to move the most, although it does have a keyword difficulty of 77. So this is going to be really interesting if we can actually get this to move. And remember, it's not based on the keyword, it's based on the page. So anything that page ranks for is going to get a boost. For instance, in one of my tests, I tried out one of my one-page websites, a local roofing website, and not only did it rank better for the local roofing terms, but actually it just ranks nationally briefly for roofer, not necessarily at the top, but suddenly all these really big keywords started surging up. So that engagement just happened across all your keywords at the same time. Now that campaign went live this morning, and with about 6 hours or so, we were starting to see results come. Now you've seen in my experiment so far, I've been using largely unscientific means, so either searching manually in incognito or just seeing what pulls through to Ahrefs. Because what you've got to understand with a lot of tools like Ahrefs, they can't possibly crawl every keyword at the same time. So it does take a while for those keywords and updated rankings to actually pull through into the traffic graph. However, a lot of these tools do seem to prioritize higher volume keywords, which obviously makes sense. So a 60 volume keyword might not get crawled and updated that often. So in what time frame has this site gone from position 10 to position 14? It could be really quite a long time. Sometimes you see sites that have been completely tanked 6 months ago, and yet supposedly they're still ranking for some keywords. And then you check and that keyword hasn't actually been crawled in 8 months. But in this case, very quickly, we saw this big keyword, 2,900 searches a month. Keyword difficulty of 86 out of 100, so really quite high. Reasonable CPC value, $1.18, and that totally leapt up from position 89 to 14. So that's a great result, really impressive. So this is why we can't really guarantee page 1 rankings for just any keyword. It seems to be that if you're within page 2 or page 3, this will push you onto page 1. But equally, it still has an impact across all your other keywords as well. So in this case, we've gone from page 10 or whatever this is onto now page 2. So that's already a fantastic result. But now I've actually moved over to start using, for this particular process and test, keyword.com, because it provides really accurate, up-to-date keyword tracking, and it's really not expensive, and you just use credits. So we set up this tracking before the campaign even goes live, and it will search on both mobile and desktop. So this is 2 keywords. It's actually the same keyword, but one's on desktop, one's on mobile. So when we started, this website was ranking at number 40 on one device and position 22 on another device. And if you're curious, this is mobile and this is desktop. So this was set up this morning and it's now about 8 PM here. I've not actually updated the rankings for a couple of hours now, but we've gone from 40 to 17 and 22 to 20. So less of an impact on the desktop result, big result on the mobile result. But it's early days. These campaigns do seem to peak around 24 hours later. But for now, we can scroll over here and get some more metrics. Keyword.com seems to think the traffic is worth $12 per click, 8,100 searches, and we've moved up 23 positions on mobile and 2 positions on desktop. That is just in the space of a day. So the campaign went live around 11 AM and it's now 8 PM. But now I'm going to update these rankings as I can do that with keyword.com, and we'll see if there's any difference. I've also got a nice dashboard up here just talking about top 20, top 30, and how that's performing over time since the start. So I'm just going to come over here and click on refresh rank. First select my keywords, refresh that rank, and now we'll see what the difference is. So that's going through now. We can see the mobiles come down a little bit to now 21, and now we're just waiting for the desktop traffic to update. But again, it's still early days. Right, big increase now in the desktop. So desktop was at 22, then it went to 20, now it's gone to 8. Mobile shot up to position 17, and has now dropped back a little bit to 21, but still a big increase from 40. But again, we're only 9 hours into the campaign. We're still should be a long way from the peak. And now final result, after giving it some time, we can see this is settled around 16 on mobile and 18 on desktop. So not a huge difference on desktop, but really measurable improvement on mobile. If we go over to the estimated traffic, we can see big increase in the last day. Meanwhile, if we go back to A, remember this affects the page, not the individual keyword, but just about any keyword that page ranks for is going to get a big boost. So we've already seen that with one example, and we can actually see in the last few days, we've actually stopped the decline in the traffic. So we don't know what this is going to look like long term. Obviously, it's not gone up a lot, it's not gone down a lot, but we're noticing a flat line compared to where we were just a few days ago with traffic dropping consistently. So overall, fantastic result, moved up for a lot of key keywords. Again, Ahrefs can't crawl everything at once, so not every keyword is going to be up to date immediately, but those that are updating are suggesting a degree of recovery. Now you've seen all the evidence, so I encourage you, go and test it out for your site. This is extremely affordable for the kind of ranking boosts you can get. The results are only temporary, they only last about a week or so, but then you just do it again and you come back up. When you consider the results you get compared to the cost, if you think about the investment of link building, where you've got to spend thousands month after month to grow your authority, which you do still need to do, but it's not like you just pay a couple of $100 and then get an instant boost from page 3 to page 1 of Google. That ROI alone could more than pay for this service. But if you're not convinced, I am actually so confident in this technique that I'm offering a money-back guarantee on it. So if you don't see visible results within 24 hours, then we're just going to do it again. We'll do you another click bomb free of charge to get you that result In fact, we'll keep trying, and if you don't get a positive movement, we'll give you your money back. It's as simple as that. This is so powerful, so simple, and yet no one is really talking about it. This is going to be the next big thing in SEO. These are just my testing prices at the moment, so they may well go up as we get busy. We've only got a limited bandwidth to actually do this, so go in and grab yourself some click bombs while they're still available at this price. And if you're not satisfied, we'll give you 100% of your money back if we cannot get significant movement on those keywords.